Hi, everybody. This is Paul Girard. I'm a student loan consultant with the American Dental Education Association, and this repayment module is on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. We hope that the information in this module will help you know whether or not public service loan forgiveness should be part of your repayment strategy. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program that we refer to as PSLF was passed into law in 2007, and it was designed to encourage borrowers to enter and stay in the public or nonprofit sector for at least 10 years with the government's promise to forgive any remaining debt after that period of time absolutely tax-free, meaning that anything left over after 10 years, as long as the borrower has met the eligibility requirements, is completely forgiven, absolutely tax-free, does not have to be listed on a borrower's tax return as taxable income. Very important to note that PSLF is available to all borrowers who meet the eligibility requirements, regardless of degree or discipline. So this most certainly includes all dental school graduates as long as you meet the eligibility requirements. We anticipate that the first borrowers will qualify later this year in 2017. We're recording this in February of 2017. So if you do some simple math, the first time borrowers could qualify will be later this year. Now, in order to qualify for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, you have to do three things, and I cannot emphasize this enough. These three things have to happen at the same time. You have to make 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible repayment plan like pay-as-you-earn or revised pay-as-you-earn. These are income-driven repayment plans. The payments have to be made on direct loans. The government can only forgive debt that they made. Direct loans come directly from the federal government. And when you make these 120 payments on direct loans, you have to be working full-time for an eligible public service loan forgiveness employer. Now, a few things. The 120 timely payments, they do not have to be consecutive, but you cannot shorten the time period. If you hear PSLF referred to as the 10-year forgiveness program, that assumes the 120 payments are done consecutively. Many nonprofit organizations qualify as eligible public service loan forgiveness employers. So once again, 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible income-driven repayment plan like pay or repay on direct loans while you're working full-time for an eligible public service loan forgiveness employer. Now, we looked at the eligibility requirements on the previous slide. What do you actually need to do to qualify for PSLF? Well, first of all, look at number 4. You don't actually apply for public service loan forgiveness until you've made all your payments. So if you hear any of your colleagues saying they applied for PSLF, in reality, they probably are doing just what we have listed here on this slide. Be sure all your loans are in the direct loan program. That's not difficult to do because the direct loan program is the only program for federal student loans as of the 2010-11 academic year. So that's probably all you have in your portfolio. Go ahead and start making payments with an income-driven repayment plan like pay or repay. And we'd encourage you to really start thinking about doing that if you're doing postdoctoral work in a hospital-based residency program, because in all likelihood, there will be a big gap between your federal debt and your stipend, and that means you should have a very low payment during your postdoctoral work in the hospital, and that bodes well for a large forgiveness amount with PSLF. Look at number 3. You're not required to do this, but we highly recommend you submit the PSLF Employment Certification Form every year to Fed Loan Servicing. They are the only loan servicer designated by the Department of Education to confirm that your employer is an eligible PSLF employer and to help you track your payments toward PSLF. So these are the steps to take to qualify for public service loan forgiveness. We want to show you some estimates of the forgiveness under public service loan forgiveness, and these numbers come directly from a wonderful debt management tool called the AMC ADEA Dental Loan Organizer and Calculator, available to you absolutely free at adea.org/DLOC. You can upload your own portfolio into DLOC, and you can put your own salary numbers in there as well. We're using $261,119. That's the average student loan debt for indebted graduates of dental schools in the class of 2016. In this case, the borrower goes directly into practice, making $160,000. They are single with a family size of 1, and we're using revised pay-as-you-earn for the payment plan. In this particular case, after graduation, when the loans came due, this borrower would pay just under $164,000 out of pocket, but there would still be $320,646 left to be forgiven tax-free under public service loan forgiveness. So you can see the substantial debt that can be forgiven tax-free with this program. Now, some comments as we close up this short repayment module on PSLF. If you are interested in academic dentistry, we would strongly encourage you to take a good look at the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. It may actually help you with any kind of concerns you have about your student loan debt entering academic dentistry. If you are doing a hospital-based postdoctoral program where you will be an employee and paid a stipend, we would encourage you to what we call consider preserving the option for using public service loan forgiveness if you decide later on after residency to stay in the nonprofit sector. The idea here is if your hospital is a nonprofit and you are an employee and you are making a stipend and has significant debt, if you go ahead and start making payments, those payments are likely to be quite low, which helps you in terms of your potential forgiveness amount later on. The idea is for you to come out of your residency program and look back and have a year or 2 or 3 years, depending on how long your residency program is, already in toward public service loan forgiveness, so that you can then evaluate the job opportunities that you have in the for-profit and perhaps the nonprofit sector. So if you're doing a hospital-based residency program, consider going ahead and starting making payments toward public service loan forgiveness. Also remember that a repayment strategy tied to public service loan forgiveness is inconsistent with aggressive repayment. If public service loan forgiveness is on the table as part of your repayment strategy, the last thing you would want to do would be to overpay on your student loans, because you would be paying down the potential forgiveness amount. Also be aware there is a proposal to limit the PSLF forgiveness amount for graduate and professional students. It is only a proposal at this time, and while this is no guarantee, in general, changes to loan programs are done prospectively for first-time borrowers, but this is something certainly to keep an eye on and to work with ADEA on to be sure you are aware of any changes to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. We close with 2 websites that we think will be helpful to you. We've mentioned the AMC ADEA Dental Loan Organizer and Calculator, where you can get your own estimates of public service loan forgiveness, as well as how much you would pay over the 10-year period of time that you would need to qualify. You can also go to studentaid.ed.gov/public service. There's information from the federal government on this program, as well as the online employment certification form. We hope this information has helped you as you learn about public service loan forgiveness and whether or not it should be part of your repayment strategy as you graduate from dental school. Good luck and best wishes from the American Dental Education Association.